Hi YouTube, this is Aaron from Fleetistics, and today we're going to be asking the question, is it better to drive 60 miles an hour or 70 miles per hour when you are driving a fleet vehicle? And to answer that question, we're going to take a look at a couple different things, but the answer is not as obvious as you would think. The quick answer is, well, of course. There's a bunch of reasons why you'd want to do that. You're going to save on fuel, you're going to be safer. But there are some things that you need to take into consideration and weigh the cost versus the benefit. And we're going to take a look at some of those things. So for this conversation, we're going to be using a couple assumptions, which is our vehicle is going to get 10 miles per gallon. The fuel is going to cost $5 per gallon. We are going to assume there is going to be a decrease in fuel economy of 25% driving 75 miles an hour compared to 60 miles per hour. So with that, what we come up with is the cost of fuel for 1 hour at 60 miles an hour is $30, and we're going to be able to cover 480 miles per day. At 75 miles an hour, it's going to cost us $50 an hour, and we're going to be able to drive 600 miles per day. So we have a $20 difference per hour, and we have a daily total difference of $160 per day. So that's the information that we're working with. So to answer the question, if we were operating strictly on fuel economy, then yeah, absolutely. It's pretty obvious. That's a no-brainer. But in fleet operations, that is seldom the case. Nothing is that simple, right? Your day is very dynamic, and the routes may be dynamic, and the type of business that you run is dynamic. Things are never the same day to day. Even when you have a business where you have relatively fixed routes, you have breakdowns, you have people that don't show up, you have accidents, you have weather, you have all of those things that come into play. So how do you account for whether or not it's better to drive 60 miles an hour or 75 miles an hour? Well, the first thing you have to look at is your route, right? And you can go in and you can go to fueleconomy.gov, and at fueleconomy.gov, you can get the economy of your vehicle, and you can start to apply some logic to do some calculations to come up with what's going to be most fuel economy effective, right? Well, when you're looking at routing, you are looking at things like weather, and where does that weather information come from, and how is that weather information used to impact the operational decisions that are being made. And weather is obviously just such a huge one. Snow, rain, wind. I mean, a wind in an empty truck is enough to blow a truck over, right? So weather is a huge, huge variable. And a lot of fleets don't actually utilize weather. We just recently, in the last 6 months, have integrated weather into the Fleetistics solution. And we've been doing this for over 26 years, right? Weather has always been a thought, but it has never been an action. So we finally stepped up and did an integration with weather. Because if you think about it, something that causes your vehicle to slow down, such as foul weather, is going to lead to traffic. It's going to lead to traffic accidents, and that's going to lead to additional drive time. Well, in this scenario, you have a limited amount of drive time because you have so many hours allowed per FMCSA, and that is impacted by things such as weather, traffic, and the like. So if you have a route that is, let's say, right at 600 miles for the day, and you can drive 75 miles an hour to get there, then you're going to be able to complete that day in one day. You're not going to have hotel and per diem costs, which is the big question mark in this calculation. If you're not able to do the things that you need to do, and you're going to have to stay over, or another driver is going to have to go out to complete a trip, those are very expensive options, and you want to avoid those as the second most important thing. The first most important thing you obviously want to avoid is an accident. Far more expensive than a hotel bill, right? But on average, if you can tweak your routes through routing software, preferably, right? Or some other process where maybe you're looking at what drivers run out of hours more, or which drivers have more overnight stays than others, and you can adjust those routes and you can adjust the speed of the route, then if you can lower those overnight stays and 2-day trips versus 1-day trips, then you can add straight to your profitability, right? So in our example, if you're driving to a destination that's 480 miles away and you're driving 60 miles an hour, you're going to have just enough time to get there. Well, if you get there and there's zero delays or issues, which rarely happens, then you still have to unload the truck and move the truck and things like that. So pretty quickly you get past the allowable hours in a particular day, or what you've planned at 480 miles. If you were to drive faster, if you were to drive 70, let's say, maybe your fuel efficiency decreases 20% instead of 25%, but you gain an hour during that trip, then in that case, you have time to do the things that you need to do, or maybe there's a delay, or maybe you've got to fuel along the way or get food. So it allows you to have that buffer by driving a little bit faster. And obviously you can't tell your drivers to drive unsafe, and no one's going to do that, right? But these are the little things that have to be not only thought about, but have to be put into action. And a lot of times we can think about things, but we don't know how to action them. And you have to decide, where is that decision-making authority? Is that decision-making authority in your routing software if you have it? Does your routing software offer that level of information? Does it actually tell the driver what the speed needs to be in order to accomplish this route, especially on long highway routes? Or is it just saying, hey, it's going to take you this amount at the speed limit, and we hope that works out for the rest of your business as it pertains to operational efficiency? So don't assume that anything in your business is efficient at this point. Question everything, review everything, put the team together, and let the team go over everything, because everybody on your team says, oh, that's inefficient, or why are we doing it that way? But oftentimes we just continue to do it that way because we don't have a forum to bring these things up. Good luck to you with that, but think about some of these things. And if we can help you at Fleetistics for GPS tracking, telematics, dash cams, integration, routing, any of those types of things, you can reach us at fleetistics.com or 855-300-0527. Thank you.